Excellent. Now, a question I want to ask you, since we're talking about controversial topics, this year there was, I don't know if you were made aware of it or if you heard about it, but Stacey Cazell. I don't know if you're aware of her thing, but she claims to have hiked the PCT in 5 months. She is a woman that claimed to have hiked the Appalachian Trail. She is she's got mechanical legs. Curious on your thoughts on that. Do you have any kind of input, any kind of opinion on that? Do you believe that she's accomplishing all the things that she's accomplishing, with her obviously making money from some of her claims? What are your thoughts on that situation?
All right. These questions, man. The next question was about some chick named Stacey Gazelle with mechanical legs and whatnot, probably an amputee, and he wants to. I mean, dude, you heard the question. Okay, she's going off saying she's doing this and doing that and the other, and she's making money. What are my thoughts? All right, let me just say, man, I'm just a hiker. I mean, I don't know what you see when you look real close, but I'm no authority on any of this stuff. I mean, I can talk as far as my experience, but you got to understand, dude. I mean, you're going on very thin ice. You know, it's like touchy subjects because, like I said, number one, I'm no authority, and even if I was, I'm humble enough not to go touching things that can only bite you. You feel what I'm saying? Whatever I think I know, there are 20 million people out there that know better. And even if we're not talking about content, there's still a personality. There is still a way that a learned person would handle a situation. You know, people call it finesse. Other people call it this, knowing the difference between what's politically correct and what's not. And I'll be the first to tell you, I don't have a filter. I mean, I do, but I don't. Okay. And most times that's getting me in more, it shows my ignorance more than it says anything else about me. All right. So while I am flattered that you hit me with these questions as if I would know, as if I'm a guru, as if my opinion actually has weight, it still astounds me. But I know you, Gunner. And so I'm not surprised that you're going to touch every single thing. And so maybe this is my turn to give you some game. All right. So you asked a question, I'm going to answer it like this. There is a saying that goes as old as the trail itself. Hike your own hike. Okay? What does that mean? Well, you're going to see people that'll be like, for example, you pull into a shelter and you see a guy laid out and he'd be like, yeah, I just did 60 miles today. Boy, those mountains. Yeah, I'm just, you know, Bruce Jenner, I'm like a trail god. Nobody can catch up to me. Now, you can sit there and argue with this person, be like, you crazy. I didn't see you on the trail. And I'll tell you, well, let me finish the thought. Just don't buy into it. You know what I'm saying? If the guy wants to believe he hiked 60 miles, let him hike his own hike. Let him live in his own world and be like, okay, sure, 60 miles, you know, good. You know what I'm saying? What they don't realize is they're telling on themselves. You know what kind of person they are, you know what kind of character they have, and you know where they're coming from when they come out with these blatant lies that just could not be true. Okay? So, I did something on a post, and it said something to the fact of, when you wrestle in the mud with a pig, the only person that's happy is the pig. Okay? So, don't feed into what somebody else, they're obviously putting fillers out there and they want that attention. And they just waiting for you to say something negative so they can just talk on a tangent about who knows what. Okay? Just rise above it. You know, hike your own hike. And I'll tell you this, I've made comments. I made comments all through my video on 2015. Understand, I hiked from Georgia to Maine. Okay? And so I catch myself making comments that I shouldn't make, you know, but it came from the heart and it was sincere and I know better. What do you mean? Well, dude, I'm hiking the trail, doing everything, catching this stuff, and I'll see a person. For example, this girl was at the starting point with me at a hostel. We all left at the same day, okay? I stopped at the first shelter on purpose because I had issues with my gear. So anybody that was there was ahead of me, all right? Now, 2.5 months later, I'm at the halfway point, and I see this girl. Hey, August, yeah, how you doing it? Halfway point, hey, we made it. And I'm like, who are you? Oh, I'm so-and-so. We were at the hostel and yeah, I just came in. I'm saying to myself, you know damn well I didn't see you. But yeah, I didn't say it to her face. You know, you do whatever. And then when I'm going to Maine, when I hit Baxter State Park and I start hiking up the Maine, the last stretch, I'm seeing all these people come down off the mountain. Hey, we made it. And I'm looking at these I'm like, I saw you a couple states ago. You know that, so I can see how it can become personal when people are claiming to do something that you know damn well they didn't do, and then they throw it in your face as if you're an idiot, or it takes away from your sense of accomplishment if you let it in. The point I'm trying to say is that, yeah, I can fall into the pitfalls and I can forget hike your own hike. But at the end of the day, man, if people are getting money for this, if and they're lying and all that, that's not for me to say. It's for those people that are paying them. I don't knock the hustle. Whatever hustle you got going on, if you be like, say you raise $5,000 from all these businesses and you tell them, hey, I'm going to hike the trail. If those businesses are stupid enough to give you the money up front, then that's a good hustle. You know what I'm saying? I'll pat you on the shoulder and, do your thing. I mean, I'm not the ethical judge of this, that, and the other. Would I do it? No. But times are hard. People got they hustle. Maybe that's her hustle. Maybe she can say she did this and did that. It is what it is, man. But you can't feed into it. Don't even trip. If they want to be Superman, Supergirl, if they want to change, do whatever, let them be whoever they want to be. Let them hike their own hike and you focus and the average person knows better. Okay? They know they ain't fooling nobody. You don't have to go in and just hike your own hike out here.
Now, August, I mean, obviously with you doing so much, I mean, listen, man, you've been in the military. I appreciate everything you've done. By the way, I thank you for your service. Let me ask you something, man. Is there a moment on the Appalachian Trail or anywhere, that was the scariest moment in your hiking career, so to speak? The moment that made you say, man, I may not survive this shit.
Next question. He asked for the scariest moment, a moment where I probably said to myself, man, I don't think I'm going to survive this. I covered it already. Scariest moment was when I already said I was working out and I guess my testicle passed up into my stomach and I see a lump and I'm like, what the? Scary in the sense that, man, I've never been through this before. What are we going to do? But now you're talking about, I may not survive this on pain of death. As far as the trail goes, no. That kind of stuff, the only time I ever felt that was during the war. All right? But understand that just like you choose your battle, you choose your challenges. Okay? You choose the things that you think is going to challenge you, to get you up to a better level, to make you a better person. And the gauge, the stick, the yardstick that you choose to measure what you think you can do based on what you've been is your past experience. Okay, dude, I've been through a lot. Like I said, I'm damn near 50, man. I mean, when I was a kid, I think the hardest thing I ever had to think about was, I got to go to summer camp and I'm going to be away from mama for 2 weeks. Well, I can't even say, kid, 8 years old. But then I'm raised in a gang environment where you can get shot going on the street. You know what I'm saying? So just my environment alone hardens me, and okay, I'm not bragging. I'm just talking. Okay. But we could be in a firefight. All right. And you don't know the measure of a man until his life's on the line or he thinks he's about to die. Okay. Now, soldiers, we're all brothers. Okay. But the situation is a situation. Okay? What do you mean? I really don't want to go here, but damn it. It's not uncommon before we deploy. We're in Iraq, wherever we are. It's not uncommon before we deploy to have a couple soldiers go off somewhere and shoot their finger off, stab themselves in the leg, and then come back and be like, I'm sorry, I can't go out now. You got to send me home because I'm hurt. Okay? You don't hear those stories. These guys, they may get chapter 8 out, which means, they got a psych issue. But most of the time, they get a Purple Heart They go home a war hero and we dodging bullets. Like, are you kidding me? Okay. So I'm talking about those guys, just so we know. I can't even say that. If you can raise your hand and join the service, then you are a hero. More power to you, because it takes courage to do that. Now, once you get downrange and the shit gets hot, if you can't handle it, it's not your fault. You weren't ready. You broke. You had a psychotic episode. You're in shock. I don't judge you. Okay? If there is a soldier and we run across the field and he just balls up and started wetting his pants and can't do nothing, I'm not going to leave him, because he was there. He tried. You know, more people get killed trying to rescue people that shouldn't be there. But the thing is, you don't know until you're tested. Okay? And you can't be judged and gigged when you're tested. You either have it or you don't. Most soldiers, and I take my hat off to them. The soldiers that's like, oh my God, what the fuck did I just sign up for? And they make it and they go home. They be like, I ain't deploying, dude. I'm done. And they walk away. And it's unfortunate these are the soldiers that get the honor of the dishonorable discharge, because they won't go back. Never mind the fact that they had the courage to do what they had to do and made it home. I know I'm babbling, but the point I'm trying to say is that when I'm in the foxhole and bullets are flying, and you got a soldier down and you're running out of ammo and he's not covering his sector, and you like, dude, fired, and he's just in there, what can you do? What can you do? He's scared. He can't help it. All you can do is take his ammunition, use it, and hope you don't get shot in the back. Point I'm trying to make is this. Black soldiers, minority soldiers such as myself, it's not that we're better. It's just that we've been through so much. I've been dodging bullets on the street trying to get to high school. So it's like, oh, they hear gunfire, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to do what I got to do. And it's not that I fear or this, that, and the other. Maybe those soldiers that are in the foxhole got more to live for. We all joined the military for a free education. When I joined, there was no war. I'm like, okay, I'm coming from the projects. How am I get to school? You know what? I'm just going to join the military. My mother made my brother join the military, the Marines, just to get him from the streets, the thug life, ganging, Bloods and Crips and all this other stuff. All right. Before I was 12 years old, my brother got his jaw broken by hitting the face with a baseball bat. And I'm trying to carry him back while the gang is running and it's just sitting me. We behind enemy lines, so to speak. My brother's holding his face together and I'm trying to take him out thinking, are you kidding me? The only thing that saved us that day was a couple of neighbors open the door and like, what are you doing? Get away from that kid. You guys go on. And you know what I'm saying? So what we've been through, what I've been through, what minorities have been through, or not just minorities, but any soldier, what you have been through in your life will gauge what you can handle in the future. I'd never been tested. I didn't know how I would react when that happened. It just so happens that it was no big deal, and I didn't know that these things will all come together in the culmination to be this, that, or the other. To answer your question, no, I've never thought on the trail, oh, I'm not going to survive this, because I know with war, with being homeless, with going to prison, with doing that, I've been through so much stuff, I ain't tripping. I can't wait to die, truth be told. But I'm not afraid of it, okay? So now, there are people that get lost on the trail just looking for water. They get lost, they panic, they get in their tent, and they die. They fall off the face of the earth because they panicked and they did the wrong thing. Have I been lost on the trail? Of course I've been lost on the trail, but I ain't tripping. My attitude is we gonna get through this, because I can say, man, if I can survive that, I can survive this. So when you look at a situation, what makes a situation dangerous or insurmountable is how you process it, Because the person sitting right next to you in that foxhole will be like, I wonder what we having for breakfast tomorrow. Shooting drains, ain't even tripping. And this guy's like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. It all depends on what you've been through. So, no. As far as the trail goes, man, scariest moment, testicle situation. As far as the trail goes, I've never thought that, oh, this is the end of the world. And I've fallen and did some scrapes and this, that, and the other. But my mind just doesn't go there, Is it dangerous? It is absolutely dangerous. And I tell people, before you go on the trail, you need to call your mom, your daddy, your aunt, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your boyfriend, and let them know, hey, I love you. I'm going on a trail. I don't know if I'm going. I tell them that because, dude, it's dangerous. You can die in a million ways to die out there, and all by accident. Never mind the fact that you're a minority and may come up missing. So yeah, you got to take it seriously because it is that serious. You know, all you got to do is just look through the history, the newsprints. It's out there. It's no secret. You know, so hope I answered your question out here.
Now, I assume that you've met a lot of people. I mean, I remember in one video you essentially called the Appalachian Trail, especially during the bubble, Woodstock. Is there any memorable people that stick out in your mind that even now, after you've done your hikes or in the past, is there any people that stick out in your mind as, you know?
Next question was, he's like, through all the years you've been hiking, you met a lot of people. Are there any people that stand out in your mind? And of course, man. This question is a double-edged sword because there's so many people you can list. You don't want to leave anybody out, okay? Obviously, you have the cornerstones of the trail. For example, Gary. Gary and Lenny, his wife, the Blueberry Patch, you know. You got Miss Janet. You know what I'm saying? These are like people that just like hold it down. You got the slingshot preacher, Bobby Hayes, the good friend of mine, you know, Hot Springs. Curtis, he runs a Standing Bear. He's video 0 where the guy is doing the branding. Curtis passed. You know, he was a soldier such as myself, and it's unfortunate he's no longer with us. Baltimore Jack, he passed. He's no longer with us. I mean, like I could go on. I mean, I'm not one for names. You know, Mary, she's my trail mom. I mean, I can just go forever, to be honest with you. But let me just say this. Everybody that I can mention, and even the ones that I can't, I met through hiking the trail. Okay? These are the people you meet. These are the caliber of people. And not one of them black, is what I'm saying. I mean, it's like what? Let me go through here real quick. No. Not one minority that I've met on that I can say, hey, you know what I'm saying? That's like there. But the point I'm trying to make is, I've never would have ever had any experience such as this. I would have never had people in my life that has enriched my life through me knowing them had I not hiked the trail. These are the caliber of people you find on the Appalachian Trail. Now, don't get me wrong. Baltimore Jack, okay, he's a hiker. Everybody else are on the trail. Even Miss Janet hiked the trail. The point I'm trying to say is that I've met more people through just hiking the trail, just random moments. You know, you spend a night in the shelter with somebody, or even you just hike for a second with people. You got to look at trail people. You're asking me of, you see that apple tree over there? That apple tree, that fruit bearing tree that sustains life. I want you to pick out your favorite apple. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because every single apple makes up that tree. All right. Every single one of those apples can save your life. All right. So I can't differentiate the experience from the hiker into like this, but I can tell you this, anybody, and I know that's broad, it's a broad stroke, okay? But that's the same way of saying like every apple on the tree is not going to be without a worm. It's not going to be rotted. But anybody that goes to the trail, I make this in the last statement, I said anybody that can raise their hand to join the military, that's a hero in my book because they came with the right heart. Anybody that wants to hike the trail and can go to the trail and step foot on that trail is good people. These are the people you're going to meet that's going to change your life and experience your life and enrich your life as you're going down the trail. I couldn't tell you the name of that person in Damascus in 2005 when I was going through after doing 27-mile hike and I was just exhausted. I couldn't tell you the name of the person whose table that I sat at that was pushing lasagna down my throat. You know what I'm saying? And her daughter and things like I can't. I mean, the name escapes me. You know, I can't tell you the person that gave the trail magic that left it in this cooler when I'm dying of thirst and I open it up and there's like a Twinkie in a soda there. You know, I'm at a loss for words. I can't tell you about the person that stopped and picked me up when I was soaking wet with rain. Nice car. You can still smell the leather. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to walk because I don't think I could let a hiker get me. He's like, don't even worry about it. You come in here and you have a seat. I mean, dude, these are life-changing experiences. You don't know how selfish you are until you see the kindness of someone else. You don't know how, I mean, dude, this is just too much information to say that I can go on this fair, I can write a book just on that. But Everybody that hikes the trail. You know what though? Bramble came to mind, and that's just some dude. You know, I put this story out there, but that guy now, you know, Spitfire. We met halfway through and we did, but Bramble. I mean, you can just say who's the most interesting character. That's something. You know what I mean? But real quick, Bramble is like an ex-ranger or Green Beret or something. He was hiking the trail and he was hiking with his dog. And I already told you the story once, but this guy, I mean, he ran out of food. Something happened. He ran out of food he ran out of money. It was him and his dog. And he came to town and he had to buy food. Okay? He bought dog food. All right? And it was like 27 miles, 30 miles to the next town. And for the next several days, he ate dog food just so his dog can have something to eat. You know, and it wouldn't be uncommon when you're passing Bramble. This guy was huge. He has his dog on his back while he's going up mountains. You know what I'm saying? That's like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? So people like that, situations like that, and it's funny because you don't know what you're gonna remember. You don't know what you're gonna hold on to. You know, but it doesn't matter. It still changes you. You still see it, and you be like, you know what? If I want that kind of passion, you know, I want to feel strongly about something like that in my life. And it's funny because I talked to Miss Janet a couple years back in 2012, and I'm like, whatever happened to Bramble? His name just popped up, okay? And she told me that he met some woman in London, and he's like in Europe living like a king, married royalty or something. And you know what? People like that deserve those kind of endings, you know? And I'm like, you know what? I am happy for that guy because, I mean, he didn't really have much when he was hiking, but see, that's just it. Good people will want for nothing in the end. You know, if you could just stop back and just see how the story ends, you know, and even still, if you know their character, if you can just sit back and just see a guy and be like, boy, I wish I had half the whatever, you know, they're going to be all right, you know, but these are the people you find on the trail. Okay. And that's all the more reason why you should go. And that's 100% of the reason why I always go back. You should hear my mother. You going back to that trail? What is wrong with you? You're stupid. I'm like, Mama, you don't understand. My brother's like, man, you crazy, man. What are you doing out there? You know, that you don't understand. You don't. Yeah? So I hope I answered your question out here.
No, we touched on this a little bit. What are your future plans? I know I know how busy you are. You write, you make music. I've read some of your writings, and definitely, man, you're an extremely talented guy. Do you have any future hiking plans or any future projects? Let us know what's in store for August Savant and people that follow his work in the future.
All right. The next question was any future plans, future projects, what's in store. I covered this several times. Yeah, I'm going back on the trail in 2020. I'm going to do a through hike. I'm definitely going to carry my computer, whether I make a movie or not, because it's just so convenient. You have no idea. Your computer that nowadays is your life. And to have that right at your fingertips is priceless. It's definitely worth the wait. So definitely, okay, the plan. Let's just be honest. How can you plan something 5 years ahead? But the plan is to do a 2020 hike to celebrate my, 50 years on this earth anniversary, blah, blah, blah. My lifestyle has always been, ever since I got out of the military, it just changes the way you see things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I got out of the military, I'd work 6 months, chill for 6 months, work 6 months, chill for 6 months, because you don't realize what you've lost or what you're losing until after the fact. And so I looked at it as getting out as a second lease on life to do the things that I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's funny because one thing you do in the military that you do a lot of is guard duty. I was infantry. And when you're sitting there pulling guard duty, it's like you just think, dude. It's like you have all this time. It's like a Buddha meditation, and you just go out and you just do things. And so I made a promise to myself a long time ago, man, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to have, and then when I say have fun, it's just more like just experience stuff and not let fear get in the way. There are a lot of people, family members, such as myself. We got the same blood, come from the same mama, but we will never experience, they won't go where I go. You know what I'm saying? They won't do what I do. And the only reason why they won't ever leave that comfort zone is because they never experienced what I experienced. You know, I said before, I came home from the war, from you know, I keep saying, anyway, I came home from the military, and my father was like, man, you're not the same person. I you know, and I mean, he meant it, you know, from the heart and everything. And he's right. He's right and he's wrong. It's like, Pop, I don't know what to tell you, man. This is who I am, you know? And whatever was lost was lost. But trust me, I didn't, you know, I don't think that I lost a better part of myself. I don't think, you don't follow me. When you're in a situation, okay, let's say you're about to get in a car accident. Okay, when your adrenaline starts, you know, like just floods your body, your pupils dilate. Okay, your vision goes to where you see only what you need to see. Your senses, everything is heightened. So everything around you moves in slow motion. And all these triggers, everything that happens is happened to give you the best chance you can to survive. Okay, you don't hear the radio no more because hearing the radio is not going to save your life if you don't have that attention to turn the wheel or know what to do. So when you're in a situation where you're constantly, where it's a life and death situation, okay, and the senses do what it do and you pull out, whatever you lose during that struggle was nothing you needed to begin with in the first place. So when my father says, man, you're not the same person, okay, maybe I lost attributes of my character that made me his son, that made me familiar to him. And now when I come back, those attributes, those pieces are gone. Maybe he mourns that loss, but I don't. Because I trust that God took all that I don't want to call it bullshit, but God took all those attributes and just left them out there in the desert to die with the rest of the stuff because it didn't need it. I didn't need it. And honestly, I think it just matured me at warp speed. You know, I have a sense of humor. I like to laugh, but then there's a point. You know what I'm saying? And I really can't explain it. But when you're going through the change, you don't know that you're changing. You know, you can't say that, oh, I can say I remember when, but but the pathways in my synapses, the memories, those are gone. Once he gets cut off, it's blocked out. You can't go back, and why would you? Okay, so that's just been ever since I got in the military, I just live by the seat of my pants. You know what I'm saying? And I know I give my mother gray hairs because I'm always doing things just on a tangent, and I don't think that I would be the person I was had it not been for that. You know, my brother, he joined the military, he joined the Marines, you know, but he went the smart way. He's a pencil pusher. And I used to give him, you know, like whatever, but boy, was I stupid. You know, if I could go back, I'd do exactly what he did. This guy's a millionaire. I mean, he graduated, lieutenant colonel, who knows? I mean, he retired. I mean, he's just living great. You know what I'm saying? $5,000, $7,000 retirement check and all this other stuff. And sometimes, you know, I think, you know, what if, and I'll tell you something, my brother's a smart man, but and it still gets me today, he admires my reasoning ability over his. He'll come to me for advice and I'm like, look at you, dude, where are you coming to me? What you know what I mean? So sometimes I think what could have been, but I don't regret whatever happened. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't go through life-changing experiences and come out the same person anyway. And since nobody knows the future, who knows? So I know I'm babbling, man, but you know, this is a good opportunity for me to reflect on my own self. Your questions, me doing this interview, I'm gonna go back and read these, you know, look at these things just to give me more in-depth analysis about myself, because you just can't do this at cuff. Just like, hey, let me just do some introspection right now. You really can't. So like I said before, yeah, I'm going on trail 2000 in 2020. When I got off the trail in December in 2015, in December 2015, I decided to write a book called The Red Door. I published that maybe 6 months ago. I finished that. That's done. So right now, like I said, I'm on a 5-year plan. I just want to anchor down for a second and just save some money, try to live a normal life. And this is more of experiment in and of itself. I looked at myself and I said, you got too many people, too many family members saying you keep moving, you keep doing. So I said, okay, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to force myself to live like a normal human being. And so that's what I'm doing now, forcing myself to live like a normal human being, have a 9-to-5, pay rent, have, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm doing now. And I'm still intermingling my hobbies. Okay. Me picking the profession as a personal trainer helps me because I'm training for the trail while I'm working out my clients, so things like that help. So the choices that I make are choices in the sense that'll still help me because I still have I still have one eye on where I would like to actually be. Okay. So that's that. And like I said, this is 2017. The plan is in 3 more years. It seems like a lifetime to hit the trail again. But you know what? I can't speak for tomorrow. I may find myself on the trail tomorrow. I mean, that's not the plan. And honestly, I'm making myself chill, not go back. There was a time where I'd go to the trail every single year. You like, August is going to be on the trail, and it was just me just living in the moment, but yeah, so that's that. I'll see you in 2020 and I'm just going to do my thing. And there you have it out here.
All right. Now, with all these hiker spotlight interviews, I always ask people non-hiking related. Is there a personal thing about yourself that you can tell people that they may not already know or that may surprise them? So just anything that may surprise them about you, non-hiker related.
The next question was, he said it's really non-hiker related, and that is there anything I can say about myself that most people don't know about me? Honestly, you pretty much, what's funny is the hiker community knows more about me just through my videos than other people. For example, most people don't know that I got like 24 books on Amazon.com. They're like, what? You write? I don't, how can I put it? I let things about me come up organically in the moment. You know what I'm saying? I don't live with a resume at the top of my lips saying I. Okay? I try to get out of the frame of mind of I and me and focus on us and we. And that's just the way it happens generally as you get older. You try to not necessarily, it's not what you can grasp, but what you can encompass. I'm in a point in my life where I'm trying to leave a legacy. So that's why I write. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I try to be upfront. Where I come from, my understanding is pretty much, how can I put it? Secrets really hurt you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't benefit by withholding parts of yourself through secrets. You know what I'm saying? I mean, unless it's a strategy, and nowadays you have to be an open book regardless. It's like I said before, the biggest thing that I can drop is my name's Rashid Aziz. Most people think, hey, your name is August Savant. So if you want to know what's something that people don't know about you, they don't know my real name. Whereas people out here in the real world know who I am and never heard of August or never heard of Savant and this, that, and the other. And it's just because the two just don't intermingle. I'm still the same person. But since I'm doing something else, and it's funny because for example, most people don't know about my music. You know what I mean? All these things are hobbies: writing, music, poetry. And let me just say, I'm not bragging, but I'm an Aries. Personally, I think it's a curse. Why do you say that? Most people in a mental insane asylum are Aries. Our attributes, our curses, and our blessings are in our mind. It's in our head. You feel what I'm saying? My brother, for example, was a Scorpio. Okay, he's like a CEO. He like Scorpios in general, they're good managers. My mother's a Cancer. Okay, my father's it's not important, but the point I'm trying to say is that the attributes of an Aries is to be a jack of all trades. It's just who I am. So if I feel an inkling, I mean, I played the saxophone. I play like a myriad of instruments. Not that I'm great, but I just want to see. I want to delve into things, So that natural curiosity and with my natural ability to like take to things, Dude, I got a hand in a whole lot of stuff. And if anybody just took the time to actually read one of my books and know about the esoteric side of it, I mean, me and the Lord is like this, but I got no problem doing card readings. All right. I got no problem reading runes. I mean, I'm covered in esoteric stuff and like, what the hell? So I span the globe. I can talk to a Wiccan as much as I can talk to anybody else. I can sit with a preacher. I can sit with whoever. I can chop it up with a bum. You know what I'm saying? I'll approach any woman in a nightclub and vice versa. So, I just don't, I don't know. I just don't, not to say that, I just don't have any fears like that. You know what I'm saying? So, if there's any bombshell that the hiker community didn't know about me, they always thought my name was August. Well, it's not. You know what I'm saying? But everything else, and whereas the people outside, they don't know I ran like 2 marathons, or I was a soldier, or I was this, that, and the other. You just don't walk around with all you basically in the military, everything you ever done is on your chest. If you in your dress blues, they can see the ribbons, they can see the combat, patches, and they can know where you've been. They can read you like a book. And the reason why they do that in the military is because you need to know this person is going to get respect. They always say, if you can't respect a man, respect the rank. You will never see a military person, officer, whoever, out of uniform when they're out their house, because it's too easy to slip. It's too easy for somebody to show the lieutenant colonel of the base disrespect, and he didn't know because the colonel was walking his dog and he's in civilian clothes. Well, see, it's different in civilian life. You don't know who you walking up on. These people aren't wearing their merits and citations, and that's the reason why just in life, you hear the saying, you got to earn my respect. Soldiers don't say that. Where I come from, respect is given. And that's just, respect and trust are 2 different things. You must earn my trust. I get that. That's trust. But respect should always be given. That this shit should be like, you come at somebody like you want somebody to come at you. Okay. And with the military, you got to. You just can't go flapping your jaws and you don't know who the hell you're talking to because they may be out of uniform. But there's a life lesson in that. And so unless you just want to like share with people and just blah blah vomit at the mouth and go through all your attributes, that's you. But it's gonna come off wrong. It's gonna come off arrogant. It's gonna come off like, he's just conceited. He's narcissist or whatever. So since you ask, like I said, it ain't much of a bombshell anyway. Just telling you what my name is. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. I just a jack of all trades, pretty much. And I've been through some dark areas, people don't know my past, and you got to keep that on the cuff regardless, because people don't understand, they see one thing and they'd be like, or they hear something and be like, oh, he's this, or oh, he's that, you know what I'm saying? But, that's sometimes your past belongs to you. You can choose to divulge it or not, but at the end of the day, it's going to come out organically. And that's the best way it should. Okay? Out here.